Hi, I'm someone who's really bad at Elden Ring, and I wanted to share the methods that I use that make beating Romina Saint of the Bud from the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion for Elden Ring relatively easy to beat, even if you're like me and you're terrible at this game. This will be an example where I use my bad at Elden Ring build and the boss arena mod to beat the Saint 5 times in a row without dying. Links to both of those in the description below. Romina has a bit of tactical overlap with the Dancing Beast fight, in that there's an NPC outside the door that you're better off ignoring since he does no damage and really just makes her a lot spongier, and that she's pretty susceptible to just smacking her around with Prayerful Strike. I actually don't recommend using ranged attacks on her though, just the way her body whips around. She tends to dodge even fast-moving projectiles like Frenzied Burst relatively easily. So I got the build up on the screen here. I am using a pretty late game version of my build here, just because this is someone who's right before the final run up to Promised Consort Radahn, so you're probably going to be pretty high level anyways. You can do it at lower level, but I just use this one because it's roughly the level that I'm typically at when I get here. Note that at the end of the spell list, I do have Flame Cleanse Me if you want to use it. I actually don't use it in any of my fights here despite contracting Scarlet Rot. If you are doing it in the actual game though, and you don't automatically teleport back, you're probably going to want that there just to clear it after the fight ends. So on the main hand Great Stars, we have a cold infused version with Wild Strikes. That's for the Mimic tier to be doing some frost build up with. We're mainly going to be attacking with the offhand version though, which is Sacred Infused with Prayerful Strike. Note that in the equipment slots down below, we have a couple of freezing pots. Also, those are for the Mimic tier to use to start getting some Frostbite buildup on her. And in the 4th Talisman slot, we have the Shard of Alexander to boost our Prayerful Strike damage. And in the Physic Flask, we have the Holy Shroud and Crack tier to boost the holy damage from that Sacred Infused Great Stars we'll be bonking her with. So outside the Fog Gate, we're going to ignore that NPC summon sign. We're going to use a Rune Arc to activate Radahn's Great Rune. We're going to cast Blessing of the Erdtree, Black Flame's Protection, and Golden Vow. Then we're going to drink a blue flask and drink our Physic Flask. Then we're going to re-equip the offhand Great Stars and step through the Fog Gate. As soon as we get through the Fog Gate, we're going to summon the Mimic tier, and we're actually going to get ready to cast Blade of Death, but not Black Blade. She gets on top of me really quick, which is a little too fast for me to get off Black Blade in addition to Blade of Death, so I just switch over to that offhand Great Stars and start smacking her with that. Try to crit her if you get a stance break, but it's no biggie if you miss out on the opportunity like I did there. When she goes up for a phase change, also a good opportunity to drink flasks, which, again, I forgot to do here, but it's still okay if you don't. At some point, she will probably get Scarlet Rot on you. Don't panic. Between Blessing of the Erdtree and the healing you're getting from Prayerful Strike, you can easily outlast it without it killing you. But just keep smashing away with Prayerful Strike until she's dead. If you need to drink a blue flask, do so to be able to attack with it some more. But aside from that, not too difficult of a fight. You're going to whiff a lot with Prayerful Strike. She just rolls around a ton. Don't worry about it. You'll connect with it enough that you'll do enough damage to take her down eventually. But overall, this is yet another of those fights that Prayerful Strike really makes really easy. You don't have to dodge too much. It helps if you can, but you don't need to have a high success rate of executing them at all. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful for some of you. If you were having any issues taking her down, feel free to continue watching me do this a total of 5 times, just to show that it works, against different movesets that she throws against us. But thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Bye.